Venice, the floating city, a place of romance, gondolas, and canals that wind their way through ancient stone like silver veins. But beneath its charm and beauty, Venice hides a centuries-old secret. It's a city in constant battle, not against armies or empires, but against the sea itself. For generations, the people of Venice have fought to keep their home from being swallowed by the very waters that made it famous. And that fight is only getting harder. Built on 118 small islands connected by over 400 bridges, Venice is essentially a city standing on stilts. Its foundations are ancient wooden piles, driven deep into the soft mud of the Venetian lagoon. Centuries ago, the wood petrified in the mineral-rich waters, forming the foundation for palaces, churches, and bustling squares. Ingenious, yes, but not invincible. For most of its history, Venice held its own against the tide. But now the sea is rising, and it's rising fast. The problem isn't new. Venetians have always dealt with acqua alta, seasonal high tides that flood the city's low-lying areas. In the past, it was a nuisance. Locals would simply wade through flooded piazzas with boots, shopkeepers would place wooden walkways above the water, and life would go on. But in recent decades, those tides have become more frequent, more intense, and far more dangerous. Climate change, rising sea levels, and land subsidence have created a perfect storm. Venice is sinking at about 1 to 2 millimeters per year, and the sea is rising right along with it. The tipping point came in November 2019, when Venice was hit by one of the worst floods in over half a century. The water reached more than 6 feet above normal levels. Iconic landmarks like St. Mark's Basilica were underwater. Shops, homes, and museums were devastated, millions in damages, centuries of heritage at risk. And it was clear, Venice could not afford to wait any longer. Enter MOSE. No, not the biblical figure, but a massive engineering project named after him. MOSE stands for Modulo Sperimentale Elettromeccanico, the Experimental Electromechanical Module. It's an ambitious flood barrier system designed to protect Venice from high tides and storm surges. It consists of 78 giant steel gates installed at the 3 inlets that connect the Venetian lagoon to the Adriatic Sea. When tides are normal, the gates lie flat on the seabed, invisible. But when water levels rise above a certain threshold, they're filled with air and lifted into place, blocking the incoming sea like a fortress wall. It sounds like something out of science fiction, and for years that's how it felt. More promise than reality. MOSE was plagued by delays, budget overruns, and a corruption scandal that rocked Italy. The project began in 2003 and was supposed to be finished by 2011. It took nearly 2 decades, billions of euros, and a huge amount of public pressure. But finally, in October 2020, MOSE was tested in real conditions. The tide rose, the gates lifted, and for the first time in living memory, the water didn't flood St. Mark's Square. Since then, MOSE has been activated dozens of times, successfully keeping Venice dry. But it's not a perfect solution. Critics argue it's expensive to maintain, environmentally risky, and a short-term fix for a long-term problem. After all, sea levels are projected to rise even higher in the coming decades, and if the Mediterranean increases by even 1 meter, MOSE might not be enough. Venice could become a ghost city, unlivable, uninhabitable, a beautiful relic sinking beneath the waves. But if history tells us anything, it's that Venice doesn't give up easily. This city has survived plagues, invasions, wars, and empire collapse. It was built from the sea, and its people have always lived in rhythm with the water. Now they're trying to bend that rhythm to their will. Residents, engineers, and environmentalists are working together to find innovative ways to adapt. Raising buildings, reinforcing foundations, rethinking how the city operates in the 21st century. Venice's battle with the sea is far from over. It's not just a local struggle, it's a symbol of what cities around the world may face as climate change accelerates. Will humanity adapt? Can we protect our most treasured places from the forces of nature we've helped unleash? For now, Venice stands, beautiful, fragile, and defiant, a city that refused to drown and might just teach the world how to stay afloat.